Welcome to the Smash Masters podcast, hosted by Stefan Eschi and Nick Priest. This is where we dig into the auto body collision repair field and talk quality repair methods and how the industry is always changing. Buckle up, it gonna get bumpy. What up?
What's going on? Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Episode
Thank you.
43. And,
43.
yeah, that's great, isn't it?
That's
pretty
we're
awesome,
getting up
man.
there, man. We're getting
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah. We're getting old.
42 was at MTE. That was
Right.
last week. We did that on Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah,
was
we
a
did it on
Saturday show.
Saturday.
So I guess it was technically 2 weeks ago.
What's up, Greg?
There's Greg. We hung out with Greg a lot down there in MTE. It's good to
Yeah.
hang out.
Fun time with Greg.
Yeah. And I spent a lot of time with Chris Worrell. Worrell. I'm sorry. I know.
Yeah, he got into the Olympics, got his feet wet with that kind of stuff, and yeah, I mean, I think that was a good learning experience for him. It's cool watching him.
Very cool to watch, and yeah, I mean, just the fact that some newbie just puts in with a competition like that. I mean, that shows a lot. So
yeah.
Looking forward to seeing more from Chris. He was on our show not too long ago.
Yeah, I don't think that's the end of him for sure. I think he's just getting started in his career stuff. Especially,
for sure.
I mean, by the amount of tools he took home.
Right? Some good ones too.
A lot of good stuff, a lot of Dent Reaper stuff. And
yeah, a lot of Dent Reaper. He got the Hales Angels set that I just ordered. That's on the way, so I'm going to include that in my MTE haul.
Yeah.
Along with these shirts.
Yeah.
Dreamy Awards.
The Dreamy Awards shirt.
John Vidine over there gave us a couple bags of glue. And set an award for making our Dent Reaper videos and the Dent Reaper contest. That was a lot of fun.
That was
a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun making that video and watching everybody else's. Excuse me. But yeah, no, MTE was a great time. Got back on Sunday. If you haven't been to an MTE and you're at all into these dent fixing tools, which I know most of you are, I highly suggest making the trip out there next year. It's going to be at a different hotel than it was this year and last year. A hotel I haven't been to, but it's one it used to be at and everybody loves. So I'm looking forward to that. A little change up in the arena for me.
Yep. We started the 2024 one's the first one we went through, and then this one, they said the numbers were up at least 20% from last year.
Wow.
So I know that's the one that we're going back to this year was technically the older hotel, but it's going to be my first time at that one. I know yours.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking forward to that.
20% up on numbers. I mean, it's a pretty awesome thing to do.
I mean, so this isn't just PDR. There's also a lot of paint correction and detailing stuff there.
Right.
But I mean, last year I went, I didn't consider myself a PDR tech, and I'm still working in a body shop. These tools are dent fixing tools. They're not just PDR tools. So if you're at all interested in picking up these tools, you don't know what to buy, which everybody has that problem starting out. Come to MTE, put these tools in your hands, talk to the guys that design the tools, talk to the guys that made the tools, and you're going to get some really crucial information. Oh, next year's 25th anniversary too. All right, Kevin Bird, we want some special, that's a special thing. We want a special MTE next year.
Yeah. So and he said 80s night. 80s night was this past year. He said he's gonna move it up a decade into the 90s. So bring your Jinkos and have all that crap ready for you. You got a whole year to figure it out. So
yep. 90s party at this next year's MTE. I'm looking forward to it. I was born in '87, but I mean, that makes me a '90s kid. You know, I definitely don't remember the '80s. So yeah,
Gotcha.
looking forward to it. And there's Chris. There's Daniel.
What's up,
Yeah, it
Daniel?
was good to see everybody. We still got to see Daniel a lot down there as well.
Daniel coming up with a new line of his tools he's got. That was cool to see.
Yeah, very cool. If you haven't seen that, check out the Smash Masters YouTube. We put a video out with
Mhm.
Daniel and his new tools, him talking about his new tools, and you can actually hear him in the video. So
Right.
that's a plus. I saw a lot of videos of people
No
recording
audio.
people with no audio from MTE because of all the noise. There's just so many people there. The noise level is up to here, and you don't realize it when you're recording. But
Mhm.
we hooked him up with a mic and got him in there. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
so tonight's guest is somebody I saw popped up on my, I don't know, Facebook Reels or whatever, or maybe it was in TikTok.
I
Started
seen
doing
him TikTok
some,
first.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's collision repair tech. He's been doing a lot of glue pulling, started making some videos, and I'm sitting there going like, damn, that's some good quality stuff there. So it's always
Appreciate that.
good to meet technicians and share these stories. You know, our goal is to bring these kinds of repair techniques to the collision repair world.
Mhm.
Um, who's he talking to, Chris? Your videos were great. Oh, the Smashmaster videos.
Yeah.
Thank
What's
you.
up, Andy?
Those are surprisingly easy to do, Chris. Honestly, the hardest part is having somebody that's willing to be on camera and introduce people and talk to them. And Nick was willing to do that. I wasn't, so I was behind the camera.
Right. I
So,
said, yeah, we need to at least get some of this stuff out here and have it for, if nothing else, content. So you guys that didn't get to go see what was out there, what maybe stuff that uh, if you just looking through a website, you can kind of see this stuff in person, see what you like, what you think about it, see the guys behind the tools, and that's real fun.
and party every night. They have parties literally every night
Yeah.
out on the green or whatever. So you just get to talk to people. One of them was an '80s party. That was awesome.
Yeah.
You're already over making videos and watching them flop. Oh, that's part of being in social media, Andy.
Yeah. Can't worry about that last one. What's up,
Yeah,
James?
you just got to keep going, keep pushing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I was saying, got a cool guest on tonight. Let's bring him
Yeah.
out here. This is
Yes, sir.
Brandon.
What's
Hi
up,
guys,
Brandon?
All the way. Hey, how's it going? All the way from where you hail from?
Southeast Nebraska.
Ah,
Southeast Nebraska.
Nebraska. We were talking about that before the show. I had to Google where Nebraska was.
It's over there.
It's somewhere to the west of me.
Yeah, well, everything is.
That much I know. There's nothing to really much to the east. But yeah,
Can be. Yeah, sure.
'90s party next year. It's exhausting. Yeah, it is exhausting. But oh, we had such a great time.
Yeah.
We had such a great time at MTE. But anyway, so Brandon, how old are you?
27, a youngin.
27. Yeah.
27.
When, what age did you get into auto body?
About 20.
About 20.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Vision
So
Tools. What's up?
it's about
Nick,
when I
he's
did as
not
well.
he's not much older than you, I don't think. If I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah, Nick's pretty young
yeah,
too.
yeah, there's a lot of younger guys in the field still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
next year. Nice.
Oh, can't wait, Jen.
Yeah.
So you got into it about 20 years old. So you probably took a little bit of time off before. What
Well,
did you do? Did you just
uh,
like party like crazy before auto body? Because I did.
not exactly. I mean, there was always some of that, but the went to trade school for auto mechanics first.
Oh,
I grew up, my old man was an engine builder, so I went to auto tech first.
okay.
And got done with auto tech and didn't know what the hell I was going to do with my life and decided, well, we'll go into auto body, and then who the hell wants to be a mechanic after that? So
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was happy I
Especially
went with my route as well.
Yep. Especially in the Rust Belt. Yeah.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah,
yeah.
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 I mean, I'm right there with you, so I get it. So yeah, so you ended up with auto, but you went to the trade school for mechanics, but you ended up in auto body. So was it more that like did you desire that like job well done? You can stand back and look at something.
The job
Yeah.
satisfaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's the right reason to get into this trade.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
I hear people getting into it for the money only, you know, it's you're gonna fail. You have to love this. You have to love
Yep.
this stuff if you want it to turn into money. So
Yep.
Right, you really do.
yeah,
You really do.
absolutely.
So, like, you get in, you kind of lead us through some of that stuff, like as you were kind of building into like the tech that you are now. Like, what did that look like getting started for you?
Well, during school there was a internship, and I was small town body shop at the time, and within the first 3-4 weeks of that internship I was doing box sides and rear bodies, and it just kind of clicked. And from there we went from small town body shop to really high production body shop,
Mm-hmm.
and bounced around to a couple of different shops trying to find the right one. Landed at a shop that I was at for a few years and was basically an apprentice for the heavy hit guy.
Okay.
Also a smaller independent shop, and learned a lot from there and moved on from that. So
Okay. So
Is
cutting
that
and
where you are
welding
now?
panels,
no,
kind of.
not where I'm at anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right. Cutting and welding panels off is kind of like natural to you almost. You kind of just clicked into it. Wasn't really
yep,
something that was difficult for you. Okay.
yep.
That's
Well,
It was
I have
all the
to
test fits that took the getting used to. Test fitting
Yeah.
everything before you weld kind of thing.
Right.
yeah,
That was
building the car 4 times.
yes, that was the getting used to part.
It's so this is a good point that I like to point out. I mean, that people all the time tell me they're not patient enough for body work, and you right there just nailed it on the head, because we got into this. We weren't patient enough to build that car 4 times. You had to learn that amount of patience for that particular thing. So
Right.
saying you're not patient enough is not an excuse to not learn body work or
And it
anything.
Right,
Right.
and it's not even really patience at this point. It's kind of like your procedure of how you're going to tackle this, so you know what your approach is every time.
Yep.
Right.
And nailing that down, you're right, is the most difficult thing.
Yep.
It is.
Absolutely. Did you feel getting into this trade that you were being conditioned to replace everything?
Sort of. Up until the guy that I was kind of an apprentice to, didn't. It was kind of that way the whole time. Was a replacement,
Mhm.
and I got with him, and he was. He's older school guy, and he was doing the heavy hits, yanking all kinds of things out left and right, and he did not believe in glue pull. Surprise, surprise, old guy didn't believe in the glue pull, but
Sure.
he was the first, like, we're gonna fix it kind of guy. Unless it was
Okay.
like folded in on itself, it was getting fixed. So
Yeah.
Okay.
pretty
All right.
pretty different animal from what we were used to, and then going to him.
hmm
But
Did this guy have any like metal finishing techniques, like with files and kind of like any of that stuff?
no, they he learned it, but he didn't use any of it anymore.
Yeah.
But he was just at the end of it before they were done putting lead in the sail panels on quarters.
Yeah.
So on the seam, but
Okay. Yeah. Jen's right. They don't make them like that anymore.
yeah,
No, they really don't.
You use that body filler technique. Huh? Yep.
Yeah.
So I was conditioned to replace everything. And I mean, it is important to know how to do that and do it efficiently, and so that the car is not going to rust out from that point on. But that's not where the art is. So I think you actually got very lucky getting hit with that early on in your career.
What's up, Corey?
Because I believe, actually, I went to ATEC before I even started repairing things personally. Hey, Zach, what's up, dude? Corey. Few still in the shop, but most of these guys sadly retired. Well, yes, sadly, and no, not sadly. I mean, there's a lot of old school techniques that need to be retired, and there are a lot of old school guys that won't let go of them. So
there was a few of those. So yeah, did you learn any of those old techniques, the ones we're talking about that you really probably shouldn't be using, but you didn't know any better?
Probably a few of them here and there. Yeah. Of course you're going to, and that's part of that particular tech's standard operating procedure.
Right.
You're going to unknowingly learn a couple of things that you probably shouldn't be doing anyways. You know,
Right.
Kind of rough for the late 80s, and it's really rough today. So, but
yeah. Yeah. No, it's it can be frustrating watching somebody stuck in their old ways and everything, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, really, the only thing we can do about it is be in the bay next to them, use our new techniques, and let them see it work. And even then, they're gonna just be like,
yeah.
How do you get that? You need a stick.
They do too.
Drill and fill, stud in mud. Old Tex showed me the way. That's right, Corey.
Yeah. I mean, I think at one point in time we all learned those specific techniques. I mean, that was just part of how you fixed cars in a collision shop. But yeah, this new Kiko way of fixing things that came through really set it out for collision guys.
For sure.
And I even today, as much as we see the Kiko systems and stuff being implemented in collision shops, I still see them in the corners dusty. So we all still have a bunch of work to do, but it's better than it was, but not as good as it could be.
So, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Andy asks if you're a ginger.
I am 100%.
There you go.
Be on the Ginger Bros
So
show
is
next.
Andy. Have you seen Dapper Dent Repair on TikTok?
I have. I do follow him actually.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, that's our friend Andy Patrick right there, and Amanda. She's the real brains behind that channel.
Well, they make some good content.
Yeah, he makes some really good stuff out there.
I really, the both of them together are a great team. But speaking of content, I wanted to show one of your recent videos, and honestly, I mean, the way you do this is like, I did it. So it was pretty cool to see. I mean, because you don't see people doing extensive glue pulling in body shops, especially not on videos.
There was more glue pulling on that too, but the 20 little tabs get a little tedious to watch.
Right.
But you're using a push tool right here, right?
Yep. It's a
what light?
Dentcraft.
Okay.
It's
what light is that?
Chubby Pro PDR Solutions.
Nice. Did you buy that yourself?
Yep.
Nice. That's good selection. That's pretty cool, because most people aren't taking that step to pick up their own stuff and everything. Like even I didn't. I made the boss buy the Kiko set, and all I did was use his stuff for a long time. I mean, I didn't buy anything for a very long time. So yeah. No, this is very impressive.
Everything that you have, glue pulling and all that, is yours, like you purchased?
Everything except the Kiko beams you see in the videos is mine. Yep.
Okay.
So
yeah. So as I was asking you, so that's the shop Kiko set, right?
Yeah, the shop Kiko set's got it's an L2 before the L2E came out, but it's I didn't get the beams yet because I mean there's 2 beams sitting right over there in the shop system, so I just as well use those for now. But besides that, everything else is so it makes it a little bit easier. Stuff doesn't get broken or lost or just destroyed in the shop, anyways. So.
Yeah, Andy likes your content.
Yeah, he likes it, and yeah, smart move buying your own stuff. Yeah, that's the thing that I guess the hurdle of collision is now. Instead of having one Kiko kit for the shop to use, kind of have each individual setups. Hopefully, eventually that could get that way. But yeah, I mean, it people will naturally take care of stuff they have to invest in. So you don't have to worry about your stuff getting cut up and thrown in the garbage for whatever reason, or just abused in ways that I've seen some pretty ridiculous stuff. So
did anybody try? Go ahead. Sorry.
Stuff you don't understand how they broke it the way they did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Were the tabs all scratched up, like on all like?
Some of them
they tried.
Some of them have been underneath of a roll lock, like
yeah, trying to
trying to add them grooves in there.
Yep.
That's definitely what we hear about that a lot. I think actually, if you guys still have those, I think maybe you could get Kiko to warranty them.
Oh yeah.
Maybe so. Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
Contact Danny Hacker directly. That's your best bet.
Yeah. Have to look into that.
Yeah. It's I mean, I went into glue pulling thinking the same thing, and like we sand things to get stuff to sticks, so it makes sense, but it's the viscosity of the glue. For those that are listening and don't know, the viscosity of the hot glue is not runny enough to get into the scratches. So by scratching up your tabs, you are not adding adhesion. You are just leaving air in between the tab and the glue, and it's going to kill your adhesion. So we want the smoothest tab face as possible. That is what we have found works the best.
Right.
You got Corey Nichols up on here.
Yeah, Corey says, do the other techs think you're an idiot for fixing damage with glue correctly? That was his experience. So what do the other guys think about glue pulling like that? Are you the only one that does it?
Okay, so I started as the only one. I was in there with 3 other body techs and an R&I tech that is turning body tech. He's kind of in like the transitional stage of it. And every single one of them looked at me like I was losing my mind, because I'm over there with a light and a glue gun, and I got this smashed in quarter panel, and they're sitting there going, oh, what the hell is he doing? And then at the end of the day, they go walking by the same quarter panel, and it's in one wipe of glaze, ready to prime, and they're like, whoa, how did he do that? And that was the fun part, was just to see the whoa look on their face.
Especially the old timers.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you got your little arts and crafts set out, huh? What are you gonna do with that?
Yep.
What are you gonna do with that, little girly boy? And then next thing you know, you're fixing huge damage way faster than what they could do it. Daniel, I don't know. He says, "What's your TikTok?" What is?
It should just be my name.
Okay.
All right.
So just type his name in. Yep, that's how I found you.
Okay.
Yeah, just type his name into TikTok. You'll find it.
So speaking
all your own tools. Go ahead.
Speaking of that, there is a white Subaru on that TikTok. There's not a video up of it because I, honest to God, didn't think that one was going to pull out. And it ended up pulling out really good. It just oil canned when it came out, but it was in far enough that it was sitting there going, that was a borderline. I have no idea if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
So
best things to try it out on.
And that's just it, is we got an attempt to repair on it, so I did, and the damn thing started moving really nice.
You got a good rider then too.
Yep.
Yeah, it helps to have a good rider.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good. Yeah, definitely hit Danny Hacker up. Corey says,
Yeah,
"Get a
sure.
bigger hammer. I could mud it quicker." Yeah, heard that one before.
Yep.
Honestly, I think it was. I think I was pissing some techs off by coming in and
Probably.
doing what I do.
Yeah.
And it's just like you could have learned this just like I did. You know, it was all on me to learn this. So,
Mhm.
you know, now you're
Yep.
seeing it. You still have that opportunity. You don't have to be mad.
Yep.
But some guys, they're just gonna be like that. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes a little bit different of a mindset to completely change the way that you're doing this stuff.
It
Instead
does.
of grinding it all back off and what you would naturally do, you know, um, keeping paint on there is kind of like what you gotta get that off before we can fix the panel in a collision shop. But
That takes
this
too long.
this whole different approach shows that that is totally not true.
Yep.
Oh, got another Brandon. Brandon says, "What's up?"
Let's
Brandon
go,
Schmitz from
Brandy.
the Ginger Bros. Ginger Bros Den Show. Have you seen the Ginger Bros Den Show?
I have caught a couple episodes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's a great show. So anybody who's out there not listening to Ginger Bros Dent Show, go check them out. We got Andy and Brandon both in here.
I
Um,
learned of a lot of dent technicians from that show. For sure.
Yeah, and I learned that a lot of dent technicians used to work in body shops.
Right. I've seen that more and more.
It seems like everybody they come in. So the Ginger Bros, what they do, I mean, we touch on it a little bit here, but they touch on not only your professional PDR life, but also your personal life. But they always have somebody tell the story about how they got into pickles. Is Dave here? Hey, Dave's here.
Dave's here.
Someone said pickles. I knew David White was here. That's a long story. But anyway, so they talk about how people got into the PDR, and it's like every single time the story starts, well, I was working in a body shop, and you know, sometimes they're just washing cars, sometimes they're full on body tech, but
Right.
yeah, it seems like that's the way. And then you get some guys that are like, body techs make the worst PDR technicians. It's like the ones that fail did, but the ones that go on and do the PDR end up being really some of the best dent PDR techs out there, in my opinion, because we understand. I mean, you look at that video we just watched of you, you know how to move metal.
Right.
Their techniques might not be full PDR yet, and there's nothing wrong with that for your setting. But it's, you know the way that metal needs to go, you know, so to change the techniques to get that to happen and leaving the paint on, it's just practice.
Just practice.
Maybe some guidance, but
Yeah.
but mostly just practice.
Yeah, you're slowly with every bigger hit like that, training yourself how metal wants to move. Well, you may not even be realizing it, but you're learning how it should move every time.
Yep. Those big ones, it's kind of interesting because after you do a few of them, kind of like that one, you can walk up to the next big one and know the first two moves and guess on what the third move is going to be, but you're not entirely sure because you haven't moved it yet, you know?
It's a reactive process.
Right.
You make one move, you reassess, move
Mhm.
on. Make a move, reassess, move on. That's actually probably the hardest part about making these videos, especially that I'm learning the PDR side of it and making videos. You know, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna grab this tool and I'm gonna put it in there, and I make all this video showing me getting the tool, putting it together, putting it in the door, and then it doesn't reach the dent. You know, it's like, well, what the hell? So, you know, so it's it's a learning curve process, but I mean, just the process of fixing dents is just that way alone. You don't know what you're going to be doing next.
Right.
Yeah, good ATECs know how to unlock metal. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it really just takes getting some of these bigger jobs that you don't know if you can fix, like you was talking about the Subaru. You may not know if you can fix it, but if you don't ever try it, you will never know.
Yep.
and
Right.
just say that, and it didn't fix and you didn't pull it out. Well, you could reassess the moves and the steps you take or took on that one and say, well, it didn't work on here. What should I have done to maybe make this better than what I did for the next time?
Right.
Are you getting into lateral tension at all?
I
Because
was
that's
just
that's
gonna
been a
ask
huge
that.
thing. That's been a
Yep.
huge thing these past few years.
Yep. Tension straps. Got a mini K power, the small one.
Woo.
Got a beast bar from Metal Medic too, actually, that I use every once in a while. But
Okay.
Tension is very, very nice. Yep.
Yeah, it
I
does help. It helps.
I agree with what David says. David says, I would say when you get to the point of fixing big complex damage, body shop guys have an advantage of knowing how to make it flow. PDR techs will be faster at the small to medium.
Right.
No arguments there. Not at all.
Right.
Yep.
Y'all started with the small to medium, so that's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
I will say David won PDR Person of the Year this year at MTE. What an accomplishment! So
Yeah.
that's very cool. So
Another
congrats
winner,
to you.
Congrats, David.
Oh yeah, Lifetime Achievement Award winner right after him, Don Cavanaugh.
Right. That's
Sometimes
awesome,
I will set up
Don.
an. Yeah, very cool. Congrats, Don. Seriously, both of you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll set up an extra light on the panel and walk by it for a day on a huge smash. I will change my mind how to start many times. So I can relate because I set up when I bring in a job. I don't always. I mean, the big stuff I don't usually put a light on it right away.
Yeah.
I've been reading it that way for years, but I will just stare at it, and sometimes I'll grab some tabs and just stick them on it. And just, no, put this one on it. Maybe,
Yep.
So yeah, I play with it in my head a lot, but I mean, that's part of it. It's part of it because you got to assess where the strongest part of the damage is, where all that tension is being held up, and sometimes it's more than one spot.
Right.
And sometimes one comes out before the other. Sometimes they need to come out at the same time. I think it was not too long ago. I was doing a poll and I had you on FaceTime, Nick. And I was putting the tab down. You were like, put another one below that, put a bar through that one and put a bar through both of them and grab them both at once. And I was like,
oh okay, yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I think you even recorded it.
I did.
I didn't record it. You did through the FaceTime.
Yeah, I did.
I'm looking at it and I'm going, you know what? You're right. And so I put another one on there. Just went, I just love moves like that. So that was cool. But so in that respect, getting an extra set of eyes on something can be really beneficial.
In my experience, if you can get as many tabs on there to try and pull at the same time without trying to lock something up, you get the best kind of release. So if you got a couple on there and they're all pulling at the same time, you get that one big move, and then you just got crown work mostly to do. So
I agree with you. I will share a little tidbit I learned from Jonathan's lateral tension and professional glue pulling course he did at MTE, is that he pointed out that when you have multiple tabs on there, the metal underneath that tab is now locked in. So if you're trying to get that metal, like say you got a lateral tension on either side of the damage and you want to do lateral tension, and before you put the lateral tension on, you glued a nice big tab right in the deepest part of it because you're like, I'm going to pull there anyway. As you're pulling the lateral tension out, the metal underneath that tab you glued down does not move. It is locked in by that glue and that tab. So that is not going to flow, and you can lock in damage that way. And I never thought about that. And that doesn't really apply to what you said. You said putting multiple on and pulling them both at once, which is different.
Right.
But I did want to talk about the multiple tab thing because I never thought about that. And Jonathan brought it up, and I'm like, duh.
It makes pretty good sense. Like, yeah, once you said it out loud, it's kind of one of those, well, why didn't I think of that deal?
It's a good theory, and I use it quite a bit. You have to make. That's why you stare at it a few times. You kind of say, well, maybe I could go here, maybe I could go there, and like Daniel said, plan it in a few weeks ahead. Think about it. Think about what
Daniel,
you're doing.
send us pictures, man. Maybe you get something from us, other big dent techs. I want some credit for your repairs. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, clearly you don't need me. It was
Yeah.
an eye-opening class. David was in Jonathan's class too, so that's true. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I going back to Andy right here talking about sending Brandon videos of damage to get another perspective. That's
We
always
do the
good to
same
have
thing.
somebody to do that with, even, if nothing else, to kind of see what you got going on or whatever the case may be. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, even if it's
that
just a
was
simple check out what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
right,
You know.
right.
Uh,
But the
but
way
yeah,
I would fix something is normally probably the opposite of what you would do anyway, because we're totally opposites on everything. So it's good to have that.
yeah,
It's good to
yeah.
have that kind of thing, especially when you can go back and forth.
You need to be able to. I mean, you ask for opinions for sure, but if somebody
Mhm.
gives you an opinion and you want to do it your way instead, there's nothing wrong with that. Do it your way.
No, no, there's
So
not.
like he said, we have different ways of doing things. In general, I think our PDR techniques are pretty in line. We ended up in the same place doing two different routes, Nick and I. Like
Mhm.
Nick did everything trial and error. I went right to training and found a PDR tech to look over my shoulder and everything.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, Nick did metal finishing. I said, fuck that. So there's all sorts of
Stefan found
differences
David.
between the two of us.
I didn't have a David in my area, to be fair. So I mean, you know, I probably would have went that route, maybe, but I don't know. I just
I got
uh,
lucky. I got lucky
I
that David was so close, and I was able to get into it. So it's I got super lucky. I really did. I worked hard towards it, but I got so very lucky.
yeah,
User over on TikTok says, "Do y'all do framework?" Yes.
I've done a bunch of framework.
So if this is your first time user coming on, this is a collision repair PDR podcast. We don't work together. Nick and I are both body techs that have kind of picked up PDR skills along the way. He's full PDR. I'm still in the body shop, and our guest here, Brandon, is a young body tech who's doing somewhat the same stuff. David says you're welcome anytime. Come on up. I got a room. You could lie right down here on the floor. I got a room for it. Come on up. You can learn. David, I don't think he needs you anymore. Nick is a superstar with this PDR stuff now. I mean, he really is. He won't admit it, but
I don't know about all
he's
that, but
yeah.
well,
See,
I'm just out here doing work. That's all. We're just out here doing stuff.
just doing it. Yeah.
Stuff and
I,
things.
I'm wondering, Brandon, do you have any aspirations to learn full on PDR?
I have actually been playing with it a little bit.
Okay. Like
Not
how?
with the hood that's getting thrown away at the body shop. Put a few dents in it here and there, open access, that kind of thing.
mhm.
Already
Cool.
have kind of a pile of dent tools just to, like you saw in the video, was kind of like rough out stuff.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
really have much for brace stuff, but that's next on the list. So
Yeah,
Sorry, the comments. I'm not laughing at you. Chris is talking
I
about
know.
pictures, and Andy's talking about pictures of his mom. So I just had to explain to the audio listeners why I'm laughing. I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Nick. I thought you were saying
No,
something.
I was just talking to Andy. He said I was like 3 hours away from him, and that was true. But at the time, I did not realize until I had already like kind of gotten past all that, where I would need that kind of help and stuff. So I didn't really know that. But at the time, I would have gladly taken Andy up on it and made a mess in his shop. And
See,
probably,
Andy, Nick is one of those guys. I mean, a lot of us are like that, where he's going to suffer and push through and do it himself if he can. So, I mean, it's kind of the kind of personality that it takes to do this kind of stuff. I don't know. I found the value of training over the years. And one of the main things that turned me around with that was the Kiko training. Because that day changed my life, and it was run by Gene Fetty. So of course, that's gonna, what? No such gay. It's Gaylord porn, David. Get it right. I'm wearing that shirt next week, by the way.
Right. Well, yeah.
I was gonna wear it this one, but I had to wear the Dreamy Awards shirt
We had to
that
get
John
going.
Vidine. So
yeah.
I probably never wear this again. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, we suffer in silence. That's absolutely right. It's it's basically me and Autobody. I didn't have. Oh, he's in here. Hey, John. I didn't have a lot of that with Autobody. So with Autobody, I had to struggle through myself. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had some nice people I worked with, but they might have been too busy. They might not have been a good teacher, or they might not have been a nice person. There were a lot of those too. So it's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Andrew. We had a lot of fun making those MTE videos. We went around to each booth and did that. So yeah, check out our YouTube, guys. We got some good tool maker videos in the booths. Masters of Smash.
Yeah, the Dreamy Awards was awesome.
At the Dreamy Awards at Gaylord Porn Palms. That was a great t-shirt. You guys you're gonna love it. Actually, I won't even wear it next week. I'll just have it and I'll show you guys, because you guys have to see it. It's just hilarious. So make sure you watch next week.
Yeah, Brandon, he come up with a lot of fine details for that thing. Like, it's like the more you look at it, the more you see, kind of thing.
Of course.
Oh yeah, no, it's detailed. That is a great question from David. Says our network of PDR techs and PDR shops throughout the world is huge, and everybody's like super supportive. So what area are you located again? So maybe David knows somebody in your area.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln, Nebraska area, David. Yep. Do you know anybody in that? I can't think of anybody off the top of my head.
I made friends with a few of them that come into the shop there, but
okay.
Thank you, David. Good. Thank you, David. David said we did a great job on going around and videoing, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was fun making those videos. I mean, yeah.
What did we get on there? So we got Dent Vision, we got Perfect Pull Tower, Edgy Tools.
We got Edgy Tools, Really Quick. We got Kiko,
Cam Auto.
Yeah.
What?
I think.
Hold on. Don says, Jonathan and Barry, we were out having a beer and he was telling us that we were all on the spectrum. We all laughed and he said, who else would push metal back into shape? Brendan, I think there is a t-shirt idea here. Oh. Yeah. How much? Where's the PDR on the autism spectrum? It's got to be somewhere on there.
I'm sure nowadays with all the stuff coming out about it, it's on there pretty heavy.
How close are you to Omaha?
45 minutes.
Okay.
That's a doable drive. Who's in Omaha, Andy? Well, what's cool is, I mean, so to give you my story is David wasn't really even offering training. What it was is I actually had my employer.
What's up,
Charles? Hey, Charles. My employer was looking to send me out for PDR training, and he wanted to send me to Ding King in California. I did not want to spend 2 weeks in California. So I researched, I had actually already been kind of looking at the PDR techs in my area, and I really liked David's videos that he had put out. So I just sent him a text. I said, "Are you? Oh, Rob Ivy."
Rob and Nathan Albers is over in that area. Okay.
All right.
Pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
maybe we can get you hooked up with somebody over there. Find out what that would take to get you some in-person training.
It would
But
help
yeah,
a
so
lot.
I just sent him a message, said, "Are you interested in training?" He's like, "I'm open to it." And he's like, "What are you looking for?" So I just explained. I'm like, "Well, I've been doing online training for a while, and I know you said you've been doing Dent Time or Dent Trainer, and so you've been doing some online training, so you can find your tip. You know how to read a light." And that's what these guys want you to know how to do before they sit down behind you, so they don't have to wait for you to figure out how to read a light,
Right.
And I just said, "Hey, I just want someone to look over my shoulder, watch me crack the paint and then tell me why I did, how, what I was doing wrong, And he was like,
Right.
"Okay, I can do that." 2 weeks in there, and I walked out being able to fix some pretty big stuff. When I walked in, I was only able to maybe do a dime size, and I was doing maybe 3 or 4 inch creases by the time I left.
Yeah, you recorded all that too, so your progress is still out there somewhere. So that was
throughout my videos, my progress.
Well, I'm talking about
I showcase everything.
At David's.
Oh yeah, sure. That 2 week period for sure.
The 2 week period.
Yep. I mean, most of the stuff needs buffing when I'm done, but it's
that's still a lot in 2 weeks.
It's still a paintless repair,
right?
Yeah.
Rob Ivy. Oh, he's tagging Rob in it, I think. Brandon might want to come hang out and get some help working his craft. I have my ADHD and bipolar. Okay, Chris. Yeah, we did have fun. I was just gonna say he went out and got a carriage. I won't say from where. And so all of a sudden he came back, he had a shopping cart, and he's just like, "You ready for your next dent?" And just sent it right into the door. Yeah, it was good. That was a lot of fun. And then I did 2 weeks of training, and then the week after was MTE. So that was actually a really fun month.
That was a lot. Yeah, he had a lot going on at that time. Rob Ivy's just down the road. We got 3 awesome techs in our shop. Nice.
Might have to look him up.
Guy right there.
Yeah, check him out.
The guy right there. Yeah, send him a message and see what that would be like.
Will do.
Andy, I still claim that I started that live connection between you and Dave. So you inspired it, Andy, for sure. Because if they had me on the Ginger Bros show and you were saying you should go see Dave. You should go see Dave, and I said, yeah, I've been watching his Instagram. But if you hadn't said that, I probably wouldn't have. I got that introvert,
Don't want to go do anything. Like, I don't want to go. I'm comfortable right here. But yeah,
pretty much.
I would at least go check him out and see what you can come up with there. I mean, who knows? Never know. Could be fun.
Absolutely. So I've seen in your videos you got a lot of Kiko stuff. Is it really just Kiko tools and Dentcraft?
Well, let's see. Kiko, I got a lot of tabs. Kiko and Cam Auto, Black Plague, Dent Reaper.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there's a lot of tabs in there. Cold glue tabs from Glexo. Most of the tools are Kiko because they kind of interchanged when I was building tools with what the shop had.
It's a great system. I get it. It's a great system. What I love most is the companies that work together too. Like you can pull Black Plague tabs with Kiko, and same with Cam Auto, and vice versa. You can pull Kiko with Cam Auto tools. Yeah. I love that. I mean, that's how you get my attention. Don't make your stuff proprietary. Allow me to use it with the tools I already have.
Right. Well, that's just it. Is I don't want to buy a tab to buy another $500 puller just to use that one tab because I mean
nobody does.
No.
Right.
No,
Right.
no. That's
Nobody does. Yeah, it's Andy. All the good tabs. Yeah, you really listen to them all. Yeah, and there's Gray Deck Dent Repair. That's John Vidine of Dent Reaper.
Right.
So
Okay.
the man himself.
I like your tabs there, bud. They're good tabs.
We all do.
Speaking
There's a
of
reason they're very popular.
right. Speaking of those blue tabs that he just came out with not too long ago,
Have you used
dude,
them?
I've been using them on those rails that I've been doing. I absolutely love those things. And they've been
Teamwork makes the
pulling
dream
that
work.
they've been pulling that Chevy metal nice. So yeah, I really enjoy those. Come down in, so
Come to Indiana and see, and you can see how we drink and pick and burn the shit out of your fingers with a glue gun.
yes, sir.
Chris is in a factory, so he's doing factory metal finish work. That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never learned how to do metal finish stuff. I'm
Yeah,
sure it's just more of what I'm doing.
It's just a different metal finish, different techniques is all it is.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
they break too much. Sorry, Andy had to come in. They break too much. I did. I don't think I've only had one tab break on me once, and it was one of those smaller purple crease ones. And to be fair, John sent me these to try out, so I didn't even buy them. So if I break them all, I'm still not. I finally get to support by buying some. But I gave him, he came on my podcast a podcast that day. I got in the comments. I'm like, I broke one of your tabs. He's like, damn it.
hey, I've tried to break these new ones. They ain't giving it up.
The blue ones?
Yeah.
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 Cool.
They
flex.
Yeah, the blue Reaper tabs. Yeah, they do flex. They're nice.
I'm super excited to be using those because I actually thought that was a good idea to make those Dent Reaper tabs in a flexible tab. I think that's very good. Fucking gingers.
What are we gonna do with these gingers?
Yeah, is what it is.
I don't know if you've seen this up a few messages, but Rob said give him message him, give him a shout out, and see how that goes. He said he's old and he doesn't stay up late, so.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm old too. I don't stay up late. I get off this podcast, I go to bed.
Right.
Did you break any tab? Chris, did you buy any tornado tabs? I want to see you break one of those. 'Cause those things are stout.
They are good tabs.
And you're not doing it right.
Yeah, he is freaking Reaper tabs. Yeah, I haven't broke one. I mean, I've been giving them all they've gotten so far. They've taken all of it. Not to say that they probably wouldn't eventually, but man, they've been killing it for me.
Yeah, and I was happy I actually got to buy those tabs.
Yeah.
So I was worried they'd be all sold out when I got there.
Yeah,
honestly.
I got to buy them.
So I have another question for you, Brandon. Has anybody asked you what glue you use? Because theirs keeps falling off.
Yep.
To the point where it annoys you?
A little bit, yeah. Yep.
And what do you tell them?
Well, it doesn't really matter about the glue. Every time.
Yep.
But by the same definition, I wouldn't use something like tab weld on that video that you showed. But, collision shop, you use collision glue.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. In general, I'd agree with that. When it's hot and humid, that stuff takes way too long to.
Yeah.
So I switch over to tab weld, but yeah. No, I get asked all the time. I mean, that's pretty much the main comment I get. I get into DMs constantly. What glue do you use? What glue would be good for a Range Rover dent? And it's like, I mean, first off, if you're asking me that, I'll bet you don't know how to fix a dent. So just don't. But if you're really wondering, I'm going to send you to pulltopaint.com, which is Kiko's 6C process. Learn the process,
See you,
then
John.
come back to me and talk glue, you know?
Wh-
And by that
whatever-
time, you're not going to ask me anymore anyway, because you're going to know.
Right.
Right.
What-
Right.
Whatever glue is in the gun is the right glue.
I've seen guys fix
glue year
dents.
round.
I've seen guys fix dents with craft glue from Home
Well.
Depot. You know,
Yeah.
like big dents. I think it was Eldar. Eldar did.
Okay.
He's done it.
One of his kids got a little toy glue gun in some kit, so he made a video. He was like messing around with it. He's like, "Look at this little thing." It'd be like barely fit in his hand. Next day, he puts out a video. He's putting it on a fender with the little toy glue gun, and he sticks the tab in, and pulls the dent out.
Eldar's wild too, man. He's all over the place. He's wide open. He's a high energy guy. So being around
He's a
him,
lot of fun.
He's a lot of fun.
I like his videos. He's got good videos.
Yeah. He
Oh,
films all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. He's a very
well-
interesting guy.
When we went to the Kiko factory, walking around, we was all kind of like in a pile, looking at this and that. Eldar's
And
way
they're
away from us.
but they told us to kind of stick together.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, where's Eldar? Eldar's way over there
He's
with his
way
GoPro out.
Just-
like,
Just
and they're like,
filming everything, and they're
so,
like,
some
you can
some
tell
of this
people-
stuff's kind of confidential, dude.
Like, okay, and still kept going.
He just go around and but we love the guy, you know, like it's
He's awesome.
he's it wouldn't have been as good of a trip without him, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, watching Borat with him was definitely a very interesting experience.
Right. It was interesting for sure because I didn't know when we were watching Borat that they were making fun of his home country in Borat. So
Right when it opened up, they
Right.
made fun of his country right in the beginning, and he's just like, "What?"
and
But
the
he's
bad
all
part
in good
about that
spirit.
is the bad part about that is though, we were like, yeah, come watch Borat with us. He's like, I've never watched that. So me and Stefan's like, yeah, come watch it with us. It'll be fun, you know, not knowing that they're making fun of his home country there.
Oh God.
So, yeah.
Whoops. But I mean, it's what are you gonna do, right?
Well, yeah.
We had a blast. We had Joel, Oli Paints there, Ryan Turbo Durbin from Resto House, Nick, myself, this guy named Darren with a gorgeous beard and he's badass body technician.
Darren Buller, yeah, he was, and he caught on really fast too.
Hey, It'll Buff. Tonight we've got a technician on. We're talking about glue pulling and such. We got It'll Buff over on TikTok.
Hey.
But actually, unfortunately, you caught us at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Right at the end. That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I forget the point I was trying to make there.
About well, you were talking about Darren's beard.
Oh, what I wanted to say is while we were there at the Kiko training, we had Ryan and Joel were both. I mean, Ryan's a body guy painter, restoration, but he had never glue pulled before ever, and Joel had done a little bit of glue pulling, but no training, no real knowledge there. He was like, "Yeah, it's cool. It was for the body guys," you know. Came to the training to learn it, and by the end of the 4 days, both of them were taking dents out of Danny Hacker's personal vehicle. Totally paintless.
They were.
Totally paintless.
Yeah.
And Ryan's over on TikTok now too. He just popped in. His ears
What's up,
are ringing.
Ryan? Yeah. Yeah, that was a fun time, and it was interesting to see how paint guys go and their approach to PDR.
I'll bet.
Because they're constantly looking at orange peel and all that kind of deeper meaning to life kind of stuff when you're talking about paint. So watching them was fun.
We're trying not to make fun of the painters.
No. Spot on.
I think I
again
I
on
think
the
I put out
community.
an anti-painter video just before the show too. So go ahead and check that out on You Break I Fix 47. Shameless plug. But yeah.
Chris, I don't think I remember what you said, but
Andy popped over onto TikTok just to tell It'll Buff that he likes her content. He's like, "Oh, I better get over there." I mean, we do. It is great content.
and yeah,
It's,
just so you know, It'll Buff Andy likes your content. He
He
says
says,
it's awesome.
"Yeah, I'm a fan." He's over there telling her himself.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know. I'm just
if y'all don't follow It'll Buff and
Gotcha.
you have anything to do with any kind of estimating or writing, I mean, she's got nothing but little bits of knowledge that just, I mean, I wish she was my writer. I'd be making so much more money.
she's got some good stuff. Good stuff
It's
out there.
makes you disappointed in your own writers. Well, we appreciate you too. She's writing strong estimates. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon, the hour flew by.
It did.
How was it?
It was good. It was good.
Enjoyed it. So for techs that are watching this, and if I ever ask you to come on a show and you're a little iffy about being on camera or anything, it's really no big deal. It's like we're all just sitting around having a conversation.
Yep.
And yeah. So I'm glad you had fun. I had fun. Nick, did you have fun?
I always have fun.
I thought you were about to say, hell no.
I always have fun. I always have fun. I always look like I hate life, but I'm really having a great time.
When I get you to crack a smile, it's a big win there, bud.
It's a big win, yeah, because for some reason I look like I'm always going to war, but really I'm just thinking about food and a nap. I don't know. Whatever that is, whatever. We'll keep it going.
Good things to think about. Dapper Andy says, keep in touch, Brandon.
Yeah, will do.
Chris. Oh yeah. That's a good thing to keep what did you tell him to keep the fender from blowing out?
Oh, okay. I think I remember. I don't remember.
Glue tab and a stick a long tab to the edge of the door of the fender to hold it. Yeah, that's a really good tip. Just glue the fender and door together.
Well, I'm glad it worked.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I'm going to bed.
You go to bed. We're going to end the show. So you guys have a good night. And thanks for coming by and hanging out with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Yeah. Right.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.